community or one religion or one race. We have our prison cell full of criminals and evil people here, and murderers. We have rapists. We have kidnappers. But they're by name Christians. That does not reflect on Christianity. That does not mean that Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, said do these things. It's totally against his teaching and preaching. The same thing with the other people. When they go bad, when they are evil, that means they're no longer connected to the source, to the peaceful Islam. It's not because of the religion, it's because the evil within us, because it's a human nature.
Which leads me to my next question, is why is there so much hate and intolerance?
That's a beautiful question. Like I said, the hate and intolerance comes from ignorance. The educated people, the ones who use their own brain, the ones who are not being led by other people, they're wonderful. Then we have some evil people, and we have some ignorant people about the rest of the world. These people, the evil ones, target these ones, recruit them, brainwash them, tell them whatever they want to do. Because the other people have no idea what else to believe in. So they're brainwashed, and you can lead them whatever way, like David Koresh did here, like Charles Manson did. People drank poison, they killed themselves because somebody told them to do so. We have them here. We have our priests that are abusing kids. There are other people that do. But that does not mean the whole Christianity is like that. You know, that's what, when we see one person from one race or one religion doing something not appropriate, we tend to generalize that for the whole country or whole race or whole religion. That's why I'm saying, go and visit that person. If a Muslim doesn't like it.
And it's also, you know, with even the black culture and the people from the you know, that are black. If we stereotype all of them, they would all be bad, or, you know, and I myself have lived in very prejudiced areas in the country, and was thrown into that mix at certain times. And so I know what that's like to be discriminated against, and to feel that injustice against you when you've not done anything wrong. So.
Yeah, to really reinforce what you're saying, I was being interviewed by another TV host, Charlie Davis, who is black. And after our interview, he laughed and he said, you know, out of all this thing that all the Muslim people are under attack, one thing came good out of that. I said, what? They said, until now, all the black people were being looked down upon, and we're the whatever, you know, underdog. Now their attention is on you guys. At least we're free and we're happy. So we got, and he was laughing.
A little bit, right?
Shifted. Yeah. It seems like some human always want to find another group or another people to look down upon. From the beginning of our history here, from the Native Americans, how we treated them, to the Japanese, to the blacks, to the slavery, to all that.
Yeah.
We always find somebody to really get under control, and I think that's not a human way to treat another human being.
Okay. Let's move on to women's rights. In your book, you speak about women and how highly you regard them, and probably more so than most men do in today's society. So what is your view of women? And share with, you write on page 389, I remembered it in my head, that you write about what you feel about women and how you honor them, which is refreshing to know and hear about. So
thank you for asking that question. You know, a lot of people think that Muslims degrade women, they're being this and that. In reality, Islam teaches us how to revere women, how to put them on a pedestal, how much they do for us, especially a mother. So I learned that from my religion and also from my own experience, the epiphany that I had when I was growing up.
Well, let's start back to your birth.
You read all that, and
you had an interesting birth.
yes, I had an interesting birth. It was quote unquote, supposed to be a hush hush, a secret birth, because it was in a remote location, and my dad was in the military, and we had several skirmishes there, civil war in the country, and he was called to duty, and my mom had no place to be, and she was pregnant with me. So she was allowed to stay in a really remote, abandoned part of the military barracks, and that's where I was born, with nobody knowing about me, no doctors, no hospitalizations, nothing, in the middle of the night with no electricity, no heat, no water, no nothing. And she cut my cord and wrapped me up and stuff like that. The world did not know about my existence until my father returned back and found out that I was born and things like that.
How many days had it been?
It was a few days, and then what happened after that, I realized how beautiful women are, what a beautiful creature they are, what a beautiful blessing to humanity they are. I mean, we usually ignore women. That's more than half of our human society. And our culture from the beginning, I mean, culture by human culture, that normally they don't look down, they look down on women. But when you look at it, even especially if you are really a religious person and read the story of Adam and Eve, peace be upon them, that when God created Adam, God could have given him any gift in the whole world: power, muscles, beauty, eternal life, anything. Out of all the things, God chose to give him the most precious gift in heaven, which was a woman. Because God, in his infinite wisdom, knew that this would be the best fitted gift to man. So when human beings, we receive a small gift from each other, we thank them, we revere them, we keep that gift so much there, and we say, oh, this is a gift from this and that, and we try to take good care of it. But what about God's gift to humanity? What a precious gift. And look at how many sacrifices women do behind the scene, how much they endure. And we're born from a woman, for goodness sake. We live inside a woman's womb for 9 months, almost a year. She's carrying us. And even when we grow up, we can't even find our socks, like I said, without calling it, the wife and say, where are my socks? But we're too afraid to say that as men. It somehow reflects on our weakness. We have to honor women. We have to appreciate them. We have to support them. We have to love them the way they deserve to be loved. They're the behind the scene people who is behind our success. If there were no women there would be no human. Period. There will be no birds. We will extinguish. We'll be gone. So they're source of our existence.
How does Islam see the role of the woman in the society? We all have mixed opinions about what we get from the media and what we know, and if you've had the opportunity to travel over to the Middle Eastern countries, or
I know
it's going to be different.
Yes.
However, for the person that hasn't traveled at all,
that's a great
what would
question.
you say to them?
Thank you very much for asking me that question. We believe we should separate culture from religion. Okay, one is culture and one is religion. Now, what we see or hear, whatever, it's mostly the culture of each country that has been stated in existence for thousands of years. Islam teaches us to be a good companion, a good husband, a good supporter of women. Now, I'll just give you a few simple examples because of the time limitation. When we marry a woman, a man has to give her a dowry. It's required to value her, to appreciate her.
Okay.
So, and then when she's married, in Islam, she cannot be forced to go out and work unless she wants to voluntarily do that. It's the man's duty to keep her safe, comfortable, provide for her, nurture her, support her, and protect her. Okay? It's upon the man that if anything threatens her, he is supposed to and required to give his life for protecting her. That's what Islam says, that you must die first before something happens to that.
Okay.
And whatever the woman earns in Islam, the man has no right in that. It's all her money.
Okay, so, but when we see the women on TV that are all covered and we hear
Right.
about beatings and the
Right.
way they're mistreated,
Exactly.
because it does exist.
It does exist.
What
yeah.
do you have to say in regards
That's
to
a
that?
great question. See, that's what I'm saying. That's not Islam. That's tradition. We have abused women here. We have abused women's shelter here. It's the evil within us. It's a man's world out there. Whether it's here and there, men are stronger, bigger. They do these things. That does not mean that Islam says that. Number two, covering themselves, that's their choice because they want not to be looked as a sex object. They do not want to reveal their stuff except for
It's all
their
about
men.
modesty, and
It's modesty
I've
that
seen some interviews with
the
women.
modesty means that they're following Mary, peace be upon her, her tradition. She did not run around in bikinis. She did not run around in shorts. Even now that I go to churches, I see the clothes that they show on her. It's the same thing. Look at the nuns over here. They're wrapped up too. They cover their hair. They cover their body. They cover everything except their face and their hands. That's exactly what our women do. So when we see a nun, we run to her, we mother so-and-so, sister, we put her on a pedestal. And if another woman does the same thing, we look down upon, oh, poor you, this. And even our women are allowed to marry and have children. None are not even marrying. We don't look down upon them, oh, poor this, look at how wrapped up she is, she cannot do this, she is this. Because that's the tradition, that's the religious thing that is carried from Mary's and Sarah's and all those people. They were dressed like Jesus Christ was being just dressed in modesty. Our preachers or whatever, when I go to churches, they wear these long robes. I see Pope all covered. He doesn't run around in shorts. So this is something about modesty and things like that. Why do we look at one person who is covered, we look up on them, and the other person doing the same thing, we look down upon them? We should not do that. I think they should be honored for being modest and protecting themselves from bad people and not making themselves targets of rape and sex objects and this and that.
But I'm not trying to
No,
be an
feel
antagonist.
free. No.
But the women that are shrouded
Yeah.
in the cloth, there are some that are not protected. They are treated. They are mistreated. They are beaten. They are raped. They are, brutally assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that that's not your outlook. But what do you say? What do you have to say
That's
about
a good
that?
question. Like I said to you, it all comes from ignorance. It does not matter whether you're covered or not. I said in my book that women are somehow being abused around the world in different ways. Back east, due to ignorance, maybe they're beaten or restrict their freedom or doing this and that, which is a culture thing, not a religious thing. Okay? They're mistreated like that. In the Western world, they're still being mistreated. They're abandoned with children. They're being bruised. They're being killed. They're being murdered. They're still being mistreated. It's not just like over here, every woman is safe and okay.
Right.
On top of that, over here, they make women sex objects. They degrade them. Look at the pornography that's going on here. for a few dollars. Look at the drug dealers, what they do to them. Look at the prostitution that's going on